I don't even know where to start. This is the Crew Motorfest and its brand new updates coming out over the course of the next year. It's the year 3 showcase. This is what we are starting with. Street racing in the Crew Motorfest. Look, I need a breather. I need like 2 seconds because there's just everything. Welcome to the Street Riders playlist. This is the first update coming out literally in like a month's time, less than a month's time. Mate, I am so incredibly excited about this. Need for Speed, Midnight Club. The vibes are immaculate, and this is what we've been needing right now. Now, I do have to point out one large flaw with this. With this. For the most part, the cars look amazing, but it seems like that person wasn't in on the day that they customized the BMW. I love this. It's such an insane thing. I never expected Ivory Tower to be the ones to do this, but we have got, for one, the E46. I didn't even realize the E46 wasn't in the game, to be honest with you, until this, but extensive customization has taken another level. We already know they do like 50 million bumpers, which is amazing. They do wide body and everything, but the stance tuning coming to the Crew Motorfest. This is absolutely insane, and I never, and licensed wheels. This show was just like pile on pile on pile. The amount of stuff, bro. What have you done to that car? Look, I know for a fact because someone may have got some access to it. And if you watch through this trailer, the beginning, the introduction to the experience, you can definitely see that pretty much none of these cars are balked. So it seems like the one that they showcased the focus on is a little funky. But nonetheless, this is what I've been waiting for. There's a Need for Speed Midnight Club hole in my heart. And this is probably the coolest thing that they could have done. After going for this like supercar focus situation, like look at, keep showing this AMG that's like, but I'm excited. This is what I've needed in my life. Inject it into my bones, and this is where we begin. Mate, there is so much to talk about, including an update that's live right now for the Crew 2.
I'm excited to share that you won't have to wait much longer before trying this hybrid mode.
Meaning? Okay.
Meaning you can play the Crew 2 offline right now. Thanks a lot to all our testers for your help on this development.
Awesome. You heard it here. It's ready. That's incredible news. Thanks so much, Greg.
Bro, I was not expecting them to do it's out today, other than the fact that the update came out a little bit earlier. They dropped it early. They should have kept it in maintenance until the stream, I swear to you. Look, I apologize for I'm just all over the damn shop with this, but I wanted to show you this gameplay. This is the gameplay you can expect in the new playlist, the Street Riders playlist. Bro, it's so good. What they've got is this flare system in the game, and where they fire them up in different locations. There's not like the normal waypointing system. It's like street racing to where they just dictate where they're shooting flares. Of course, it's probably going to be in the same location all the time, but it's a cool like bit of atmosphere in where you can actually take any route you like to get through the objective, which I thought it just creates just mental gameplay that you won't expect to see anywhere else in the Crew. And there is some special stuff about this playlist, but we'll talk more about this a little bit later, because I think this is, number one, the coolest playlist they've probably done ever. And the music is just going to be immaculate. I need to find this beat on Epidemic Sounds, probably. Shout out every time. Here's some final like cutscene elements in here. Again, you're probably going to see a lot of this in the playlist, hopefully, because this is incredible. The GTI. I miss Need for Speed, but like it's here. Oh yeah, and the licensed wheels. They just in case you didn't realize, licensed wheels. Now that's not the only playlist. Normally they do 2. So there is also going to be a BMW playlist added to the game if you prefer the more like civilized, slightly more civilized situation of driving cars, mostly sensibly. But anyway, BMW has always been a great brand for these brand studios to work with. They're always so fantastic. Also, some of these cars, Gran Turismo doesn't get, Forza doesn't get. I don't understand how this company can just plaster incredible, impeccable cars. I feel like they've got probably the best fastest car production system in the entire industry. With the amount of customization they provide as well, their car team has to be absolutely huge. I can't comprehend. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, BMW playlist. This is going to be really cool to check out. But one thing I do want to say, whoever's in charge of whoever's doing these trailers, the music, the composition, hell, the person that clicks render, give that whole team a raise. The trailers in this have been immaculate. I can't believe the crew has its own event, and the amount of content it adds between its games and the library is enough to, like, it's enough to have its own show. And it still gets crazier from here. You tell me to calm down, I can't. There's just so much to talk about.
We are so happy to announce that the Crew Motorfest will be available on Steam Deck and fully verified.
Okay, come on, everyone. We're going to be able to cruise around and...
Now, my problem, I have to just point out the obvious here. There's a little bit of feedback. This is great. They've made it so the optimizations are so good and plays that the Steam Deck is now supported, which means any portable that you may have that maybe not the Steam Deck will now be playable.
And I can't wait to see where our player will
the glaring obvious problem with this is the Crew Motorfest is a always online game, and I tend to play the portables on the go. But you know, I think the Steam Deck is very much a home platform, so, you know, fair enough. It's just a little observation there. So when the game does inevitably get its offline mode, at least we'll know it's going to be verified and playable on the Steam Deck, which is great. So this is now talking about what's coming quality of life-wise.
Players will now have the option to customize their rims even more by choosing a different material, for instance, or by equipping actual branded rims.
Yes!
We're also going to let players customize their vehicles.
You hear that as well. The materials are now changeable. This is a thing that's been requested for so long. No more stupid chrome wheels and nothing, but you'll be able to customize the color and the paint material type. So all those ivory tower wheels are not just completely useless, now that we got the licensed ones. It's a nice balance. And of course the stance tuning.
Awesome.
And there's more. A new progression and ranking system is coming to the Grand Race on top of a lot of other improvements.
I kind of forgot about this, but if you're interested in the Grand Race,
the year.
And those additions have been highly anticipated by the community. At least that's what I heard.
Totally.
That's really cool. The Grand Race is the most popular piece of the Crew Motorfest, for sure, outside of, I imagine, playlists and the like. And not even finally yet. This was probably the most jam-packed video. This one trailer alone could have just been thrown at us. Absolutely thrown at us. This is something that a lot of us expect usually at the end of the life cycle of the Crew. This is the new track creator, and it is more intense than it has ever been, because normally you just pick a route. I'm more of the ground racing type guy, but like, once again, can I just say, the team that create these trailers, impeccable. Creating them in engine as well, with all these props flying up and stuff, what that means is not necessarily, this is not what the game is going to be like. This is not how the game is going to play. The line blurs a little bit, but in-engine suggests that they actually rendered this out, this whole animation in the actual Crew engine. And I would love to be able to get the tools to do things like this, you know, that would be really nice as a creator. But really cool track creator coming to the game in a much more in-depth way than ever before, and not at the end of the game's life cycle, because normally that's what they do, because give you everything. There's the creator. I just want to do a little deep dive on this, because this is not something like, this is crazy. So is that a limit of 34? Okay, no, it's oh my god, there's so many different pieces. That's the amount of pieces that you can see in the middle of the screen there, right? So you've got the options here for straight, turn, different. You got the super modules. You've got the other side, which is the pivot, module options, undo, place. You got change mode, so you can go through a fast build, library, selection. This is something that we're going to have to like play with over time, because quite honestly, there's a tremendous, I'm sure, amount of stuff in here. We've got the validation process, so you can get the event settings. You got editor options, which again will allow you to maybe fine tune like some extra settings to do with just the editor specifically. There's so much in there that I need to get my hands on it to really let you know exactly what that's going to be like. And then they revealed this. Massive, they're kind of big. I was gonna say go-karts. They're practically the size of go-karts, but these are RC cars. And mate, the suspension system in here and everything, the feel looks great. It genuinely looks really great, and it's a nice, fun addition. It's completely out of the blue, Not something I expected at all. But hey, who doesn't want to like jump off of buildings or jump onto buildings and things like that? This is the perfect vehicle to do this. It's just a more fun little experience. And this wasn't even it. There was even more after this. So we're doing a little racing, a little crashing, a little tumbling, and then this. What the frick? I don't even know how to begin with this, but NASCAR and Ivory Tower have usually done like really great crash physics. That's pretty insane for them to get the NASCAR license. So this is the timeline you want to see. You've got the crew on Steam Deck. You've got year 3 starting with Street Riders. Track Forge comes a little bit later. And the year 3 pass? Oh my god. The fact that they've got, again, there's so much content here that they're able to have their own show is absolutely wild. The year 3 pass. Also, if you get one of the other old passes and the new pass, you get a special car. Here she is, the Cadillac. Bro, the concept Cadillac, that is so long and so hot. But that's not it either. They left us with like a one more thing situation. So here's the video scrolling down. Wait, are all those uploaded by Ubisoft? Hey, where's, I want to be on there. A brand new island, which is a really cool thing to add to the game. This is a more like fun island, and I think it's probably their test grounds for their creator that they've built, in where you can play around with a lot of the elements. If you not really want to create something yourself, or you want to test something and how the physics kind of work on those things, here you are. This glass wall is probably one of the coolest elements. Seeing under the water like that, it's basically a Hot Wheels playground without Hot Wheels branding, and this is just available in the world. You don't have to deload and go to a new area, as far as I'm aware. Magnetized roads. They've really added absolutely everything to this game, and that's available from March 2026. What a wild show. Oh, and I absolutely forgot about this. This is the friend pass. This is a really nice little addition. Basically, if you own the game, you can invite up to 3 friends to play in your crew at the same time, like with you. They don't need to own the game. Small addition, because, you know, everyone owns the Crew Motorfest, obviously. But if you got friends that don't usually play racing games, this is a chance to, like, jump in and be like, look at all the cool stuff. Can you play everything? We're gonna have to test this stuff. There is so many points to talk about, so many, like, ultimately, everything in this I'm going to try, but the absolute top is that Street Riders playlist. I'm just thinking about the Street Riders. And again, not forgetting about the fact that you can now stance everything. Every car that you own can now be reimagined in a way that wasn't possible before. Improving the quality of the car, because you can now play with it in a different way. It just refreshes. These are probably the best customizations. I say it about Need for Speed. I say it about Forza. When you add something that's changing for practically all the cars like this, that basically allows you to refresh the cars. When you can like tint lights, for example, and maybe even just changing plates, this type of stuff, and it affects all cars or most cars, that instantly just adds so much replayability to my favorite car that might not be a new car. For example, the R34. You don't think I'm going to go in and put some thick, meaty tires on there when I haven't been able to do so before? You're goddamn right. Wow. I need to go home and process. I'm already home. I need to sit down. I'm already sitting down. I need something. Somebody, please. Which is your most exciting favorite thing? Let me know in the comments.